Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in once more for another action-packed deep dive discussion this week. As in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing the topic of overwhelming energies. Also in this week's show, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees myself becoming a vessel for spirit to bring forward their communications and wisdoms through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you to navigate your way through the course of this week ahead. So without further ado, we're going to crack on. As I say, we're discussing the topic of overwhelming energies. So first of all, let's break it down. As I'm sure most of you will be aware that everything in this dimension, in any dimension for that matter, is a frequency, is an energy, is a frequency tone. And depending upon the variables of that energy and the way that it's emitted, it creates, I would say, a frequency and energy that we all have the potential to pick up on that energy. As I've said on many occasions, we are all transmitters and receivers of frequency and of vibration there. So with this being the case, energy emits a different frequency, and depending upon how open we are, we have the potentiality to pick up on those frequencies and those energies. For some of us, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, as today's title suggests. For others, we kind of shut ourselves down and close ourselves off to those experiences. And some occasions, this can be out of choice. It could even be out of societal conditioning. Maybe we've had this sensitivity drummed out of us to a degree that we're not aware of a lot of these frequencies and vibrations that are interacting with us on a day-by-day basis, because it's all happening everywhere we seem to be going. So anyway, let's talk about this subject in a little bit more depth. So I would say, to stop yourself getting overwhelmed with vibration and frequency, like I say, it's we're living in a vibrational soup. And I would say to keep yourself balanced. So what I mean by that is not overstimulating, not overdoing things. And this I'm talking about in every sector of your life. Keeping your life simple, keeping it balanced. And that way you won't be too overwhelmed with the vibrations that do occur in your life. Also, using protection. Now, I'm not talking about that protection. I'm talking about spiritual and energetic protection. That can keep your vibrations guarded. As I say, we're all transmitters and receivers of vibrational frequencies and energies. And so you have the choice to whether you're wanting to be extremely sensitive or whether you're wanting to be aware of these vibrations, and you're wanting for your vibration to be its true, authentic self, rather than attaching or having other frequencies or vibrations sticking to you. So we have that option to do that, should we wish to choose that. Also, I would say that the ultimate is recognizing your own frequency, your own energy. Now, I know it sounds pretty obvious, but a lot of people don't do this. And I'm not judging by saying this, but there's a lot of people that go about their day-to-day life and they just kind of react or fall into line with life and what life has to offer without realizing their own self-worth or their own vibrational frequency. Now, I'm talking about the way that we are, the way that we communicate with people, whether this is in a verbal or non-verbal situation, because we're all giving off energy, frequency, even if we're not speaking. And so what I'm referring to is getting to know that part of you, getting to know if you're in a good mood, if you're in a bad mood, what are your triggers, what triggers you to have a good mood or a bad mood, and also what things you like, what things you dislike. And this can go, some people recognize this with people with the clothes that they're wearing. Some people wear a certain item of clothing where their mood is changing, is a little bit different, and so they feel drawn to wear a different item of clothing. And some people pick up on people's vibrations through the feelings that they feel themselves when they're around those people. So I'm referring to, going back to what I'm talking about, is keeping yourself balanced and protected and recognizing your own vibration, your own frequency, because this is key to this. Once you understand yourself, then you will know what isn't your energy, what isn't your vibration, and what energy is trying to infiltrate your peace or your vibration. And then that way you can be more mindful of what's actually happening on an energetic basis around yourselves there. With this being said, people's energy. Now, how many times have anybody that's listening to this have been in a crowded room, or you've met up with an old school friend or somebody you haven't seen for ages, and all of a sudden you're talking away and everything seems to be going tickety-boo and everybody's having a nice time and an engaging conversation, yet there's something underlying in that conversation. You can't put a finger on it. It's a feeling. You just get a feeling that even though that person is saying all of these things, the energy that they're emitting is completely different. How many of you have gone through that? Well, I'm suggesting to you today that that what is actually happening is people have the potential to either empower you, give you that vibration, give you that energy, give you that encouragement, or they have the potential to actually drain you. And again, going back to our example, how many times have we all been in a conversation where it's great to communicate and talk to people, and then all of a sudden we just feel really tired and lethargic and drained and a little bit sleepy, and we find ourselves either rubbing our eyes, yawning whilst we're in the company of that person that's having that conversation with us, or maybe stretching or moving our physical body to get some energy back into us, because we feel our energy being drained from us by this individual. Maybe they're going through a bad time when they have that interaction with you, and your vibrations are being taken away from you to heal them, to level them up so that they feel better. And maybe that's what's happening. Who knows? But what I would suggest is just to recognize the next time that you have a conversation with people, not just the information that's being exchanged verbally or visually, for that matter, such as body language, that is a communication in itself there, but also I'm referring to the way that that person makes you feel when you're in their vibrational setting there. And then you can either continue to being engaged in that conversation, in that interaction, or you can gently and respectfully make your excuses and leave that vibration again to restore your energy so that your energy is maintained. Remember what we were saying earlier about understanding your own frequency. Well, when you understand your own frequency, when there's any subtle changes like the one I've just described there, you generally feel that you need to move out. It's a natural instinct that you need to move out of that vibration in order to retain or regain back your own frequency. Also, what I would suggest is setting healthy boundaries in your life on an energetic and frequency level there. Now, like I've just given you that example with meeting up with people, some people drain you, other people empower you and give you that passion, that enthusiasm. So choose wisely and, make a mental note of what occurs when you're around these individuals. I'm not judging anybody by saying that, I'm not hanging around with them because they're like that. What I'm actually saying is it's about preserving your vibration so that you can work on your optimum frequency at all times, so you can have the best timeline in your life experience at all times. That's what I'm advertising by saying this to you. And by setting healthy boundaries will allow you to tailor your life and design it the way that it suits you on an energetic level, the way that it empowers you and makes you feel like you're firing on all cylinders by doing that. Now, you may find that with doing this, setting some healthy boundaries, that you will have to make several lifestyle changes. So maybe this could involve, it could involve, like we were saying, the people that you hang around with or you interact with. You may have to edge yourself away from that social circle, again, to maintain and to keep your vibration at optimal levels there as well. But also, you may find that the things that you like to watch, either on TV or films or even music for that matter, some of those may have to change, because at one time that would have aligned with you on an energetic and vibrational level. Yet you're aware of your own frequency, and you're noticing being around these things or observing or watching these things are starting to pull your vibration down, making you less of the person that you are as a result in being in those frequencies. So with that being said, you're going to have to make some healthy changes by, I would say, weaning yourself off of either watching those things or listening to that music, or even being around those substances, because we all know that various substances contain a lower vibrational frequency there as well. And sometimes, when we're in a location, I'll give you an example, like a pub, for example. Sometimes when you're high vibrational and you're very sensitive, you may find that being in those environments, you can only tolerate it for so long, and then you get sort of either triggered by the energy in there, or the actual the products that they're selling. Like I say, some of these substances have got like a low vibrational state. And the reason I bring this up is many years ago, I recall being in a public house and just chatting away with my friends there. And I looked over my shoulder to the right-hand side, and I saw some young lads, some gentlemen, having a laugh, having a giggle. They've obviously had a few ales, a few pints down them. And it looked all, from the surface, it looked all, innocent and jovial and fun and loving in that respect. Yet, as I looked at the two gentlemen that were standing up, hovering above their head, I saw what I would describe as like black entities. It was a faceless entity shape. There was no legs. The best way I can describe it is it looked like a hooded entity. I couldn't see no face. I could see arms, no legs, but I did see a tail coming from the lower part. And this tail was like a cord, and it was attaching to both of these individuals' lower part of their spine. And they both had one of these entities above them each. So I got to witness that firsthand with my physical eyes, and also, like I say, the vibrations, the energy that was emitting. And with me saying this, it led me down this avenue of questioning and having a conversation with my guides around the subject of, shall we say, alcohol. And it was then described to me that this can actually lower your frequency, your vibration. And so some of these, shall we say, darker entities see this as an opportunity, a feeding ground, if you will, because they utilize, I would say, fear-based energy and lower-based frequencies in order for them to get their sustenance, their life force, so that they can exist in this dimension, in this realm. So my guides were telling me about that and why I'd witnessed these entities that were attached to these two young lads there when I was out in this environment. So it got me thinking, and it certainly changed my perception around alcohol and public houses for that matter. Everybody's individual, but Obviously, I'm not chastising anybody that goes to pubs or anything like that. I'm just saying and sharing my experience, what I witnessed, and that, like I say, changed my perception of both of those things. So yes, going back to being on topic, setting healthy boundaries. You may have to change your lifestyle in doing that in order to keep your frequency, maintaining it the best version of yourself there. Also, when you're out and about in buildings as well, I'm sure many of you have noticed before you've actually stepped into that building, you feel all, happy-go-lucky, jovial, and you walk through the threshold of that building, and the next minute you notice you feel either down in the dumps or you feel like the walls are coming in on you in that location. And it's not because it's dark or dingy. It can be a beautifully well-lit building that you happen to be walking in, and all of a sudden you feel like you're being squashed by the walls coming in on you and all of that. And I would suggest to you that this is actually the frequency, the energies retained either in that building, in the possessions that lay in that building, or maybe it could be energy embedded into the fabric of that building that you are picking up on and that you are experiencing in that moment. I would also say that pay attention. You've heard people talk about ley lines. They're like energetic grids that go around the earth. And where there's a crossing point where two of these grid references cross points there, potentially this is where portals can occur. And this is, some ley lines are more stronger than others, depending. It's a bit like, I would use the analogy of like a Scalextric track. Does anybody remember those? Like, basically it was like a track, a children's toy, and you had to connect all of these track pieces together in order to form a circuit, which in turn would create an electrical circuit for then when you put your car on the track, it would go round. And I would say ley lines operate something similar to that. So when they all connect together, they emit a frequency. And those of us that either are hypersensitive or have mediumistic abilities will pick up on these vibrations. And again, it can be quite overwhelming, because you can be walking down a street or a road and the next minute you're aware that your energy is either being overly stimulated or you're feeling really drained all of a sudden and really tired and lethargic. And you can't seem to get your words out. You're finding it difficult to communicate because of this change in your vibration that has been infiltrated by some ley lines, some energetic grids that you may be walking across or where you happen to be at that moment in time. So that can have an impact on your energy. Also, what I have observed is when you're out and about, like a busy town centre or a city centre, somewhere where there's lots of people, obviously you're going to have everybody's natural frequency, the vibration that they emit. But also each one of those individuals will have either their spirit guides following them around, whether the person realizes it or not. It doesn't matter, that is happening. They will also have the vibrations of their ancestors, so their loved ones in the world of spirit. Their essence and their energies are around those living people as well. So you've got all of those energies that are happening around each and every one of us. And imagine being in a crowd of people that everybody is emitting all of this energetic and frequency information. It can be very overwhelming. And there's people out there, myself included, that can only tolerate being in crowds of people for a period of time, because it's like sensory overload, and it can be very overwhelming. So maybe consider that the next time you're in a crowded building or a location where there's a lot of people. Once you are aware of your frequency, you'll notice these changes more, and it potentially can have a detrimental effect on you if you're not fully aware and conscious. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that up to you as well. Also, what you might find is, depending on the location, the ley line, or the building, or the people that you hang with, obviously there's spirit. There's a world of spirit as well. So we have a lot of lost souls wherever we happen to be. These are souls that maybe haven't made that conscious decision yet to transition with their soul's journey. Instead, maybe it could be anything that's stopping them from transitioning. It could be a fear-based response, the fear of being judged when they make their transition. It could even be the fact that they have such a deep energy charge to either that land, location, or maybe there was an event that happened to them that is keeping them stuck and keeping them grounded in this dimension, stopping them from making their transition, moving on their pathway with their soul's journey. It could be a variety of reasons, but there is a lot of lost souls everywhere we happen to be. And so those of you that are particularly aware of your frequency, your tone, your vibration, and you're owning that, you will experience feeling other realities, other vibrations, other energies, such as lost souls. Also, like I say, some of these lost souls are grounded. They haven't made their spiritual transition yet. And yet there's other souls that come in visitation. So these are souls that have made their transition, yet they choose to maybe come and visit certain locations, or maybe check in with their family members or loved ones to see how they're doing. So when you're aware of your own frequency, you'll notice again these subtle changes of you may, for example, you may start to notice you get palpitations, your breathing may change, you may get a headache, your body temperature may increase or decrease because of these vibrations and energies that you're picking up on. The most common one, telltale sign, is that people get goosebumps, where the skin on their forearms raises and the hair on the back of the neck raises if you have hair on the back of your neck. But you're aware of this electromagnetic frequency charge that's giving you this feeling, and it can make you judder and shiver because of this vibrational change there. This has the potential of being a spirit either that is grounded or in visitation. The only true way of knowing, in my experience, is by connecting in with that soul and having a conversation with them, and also liaising, should I say, with your spirit guide as a bridge there to get the truth. Because some spirits, not all, but some, like to wind you up. They like to play a game. They like to have some fun. And in doing that, they won't tell you the whole truth. So you have to feel your way into those communications if you're able to do that. And also, this is where you involve your spirit guide. Again, because you built that relationship up with your spirit guide, you have that trust there. So anything that they will tell you, you will 100% know that that is the truth in that situation. So I would just, I thought I'd bring that to your attention with that as well. But also, I went to Edinburgh, I would say over a month and a half ago now, the very first time I've ever been into Scotland, and it was an absolute amazing trip. I love going out on my adventures and seeing different locations. And the reason why I bring this up is it's very relevant with today's subject matter, overwhelming energies. What I did find, the minute that I crossed the English and the Scottish border, that line there, I noticed a dramatic change in energy. It felt more freeing. I got the electrostatic chills as I went over that border there, and my heart began to open up and almost sing. There was a sense of freedom just by crossing that borderline. And that was whilst I was driving. I was completely aware of that vibrational change. And again, this is going back to what I was saying about you being aware of your own frequency, your own vibration. And perhaps because I am comfortable, I'm not aware of my own vibration, that I was able to pick up on that frequency change immediately, even though I was driving. But going back to what I was saying with this trip in Edinburgh, why it's relevant is because it was supercharged with energy. There was so much happening. Obviously, there's a lot of history in that location there on multiple timelines. And as we've said on here before, there's no such thing as time. Everything is happening now. It's where we place our attention that becomes our experience. But what I was picking up whilst I was there, I was bombarded by energy. As I was stating earlier, I set some intentions before I even made my visit to Edinburgh. I put my energetic protection around me, which I've shared techniques with you before on these shows that we do together. And I did all of that. And even with all of that, I was still getting overwhelmed with these frequencies. So if you imagine all of the historic buildings and the energy that they contain, even if you're walking by one on the street, you're not actually moving over the threshold. I was picking up on those energies. I was picking up on the energy of the people in that environment. As you can imagine, it's the capital of Scotland. So it was very, very busy with people. And like we were saying earlier, every person has their own frequency. Then they have their spirit guides and their team with them. Then they have their loved ones and friends and family. So each individual person potentially could have like an entourage of around 20 other souls around them. So if you imagine walking into a busy city with thousands of people with all of that going on, that was so off the charts for me. But what I was finding as well is in some of the, I actually went up to Edinburgh Castle where they hold the Edinburgh Tattoo. And I had a look round there as a visitor, and that was tremendously amazing. But there was one location where I did get some abuse by a gentleman in spirit. I wasn't going there to work with spirit. It was my weekend off, so I'd completely shut down. But nevertheless, this gentleman hailed some abuse at me. Quite racist, if I'm honest with you, which is quite peculiar because I've never experienced that before. But this gentleman was in spirit, and I just didn't give him my attention, my time, because that was what his intention was. He was there to try and rattle or ruffle my feathers to get a reaction out of me. And I didn't, because I wasn't there to do that. And I wouldn't retaliate or go into that vibration, even if I was working with spirit. So I declined that reactory response with him. But I did notice also that the ley lines in that area were very, very high vibrational. I was feeling really drained, even though I had to keep having rests and having time out. And one of the techniques that I was using whilst I was walking around Edinburgh, because you do need to have some good walking legs on, that's all I'll say when you go to Edinburgh, is I put my headphones on and I was listening to some really music that I love. You know, it's not to everybody's taste. I love rock music. So I was listening to a lot of that as I was walking around, checking in the sites. And I was doing that on purpose so that I could dull the overwhelming sensation of these energies so that I could retain my vibration, the vibration that I'm familiar with of being me. So I was having to do that. But even with all of that, I was still finding that this energy was becoming increasingly more intense and overwhelming. So what I would suggest anybody that's going on their adventures and travels is that you set your intentions, what you would like to experience. Also set some energetic protection around yourself. Check in with yourself, doing a baseline check. We've spoken about that before on this very show. If it's really intense, again, I would suggest that you wear headphones with either upbeat music or music that you enjoy, and that will heal your vibration, keeping you buoyant, keeping you in your frequency. Also, taking regular time out as well will help you to reassess your vibration, get back on track. If you can find a sacred space wherever you happen to be, ideally nature, anywhere where there's nature, or even a graveyard for that matter, is very peaceful, and that can help you with this process. And what I would say is snacking make sure you take some snacks with you, because your energy will be depleted and drained at times, and you'll feel like you even haven't got the energy to walk. So make sure you're snacking there as well. And make sure your snacks are little and often. Don't overindulge, because that in itself can pull your vibration down. And then at the end of your experience, I would certainly recommend that you cleanse your vibration with intentional cleansing. So asking for help from your guides and helpers to cleanse your vibration. Again, returning it back to your familiar vibration, that you're aware that that is your frequency. So I just thought I'd share a lot of these tips and advice and some of the encounters that I've had, in order to help everybody that's listening, if you ever notice that you start to feel lethargic, tired, or overwhelmed. We're now moving into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. As you know, as I've said many times before, this is one of my favorite parts of the show, because I don't know what's going to happen and what's going to come through, as I don't recall any of the information until I listen to it in production afterwards. And so I'm very much looking forward to listening to this segment of the show. I hope everybody's doing okay this week. I know I certainly am going through a lot of changes in my life, where I'm finding I've just kind of got to be okay with being okay, and just witnessing a lot of changes happening in my life. And rather than resisting them, actually allowing myself to observe them coming in slowly, incrementally, so that they don't intimidate me. However, I just feel aligned with that vibration. So here's this week's channeling from Spirit. This time we come through with great anticipation and enthusiasm for what's about to unfold. In your reality, many of you are feeling the effects of these changes coming in. However, they're not fully manifesting into form, and you're not fully visualizing it and seeing it in your present moment. But what we're referring to is lots of changes, lots of work that's happening behind the scenes from us in the world of spirit. There's lots of untruths will be coming to the surface, and you'll all start to witness these untruths being played out right before you. You can't suppress or deny information anymore, because it is the truth, and therefore it resonates of a higher frequency. Also, most of you will be feeling slightly uneasy, and we mean by this that you'll be feeling like you're not going anywhere fast, and that life seems to be, although going fast, in terms of your own personal unfoldment, it seems to be treading water in that respect. And it can be quite frustrating, as I'm sure many of you will concur with me saying this, the fact that you're wanting to go places and do things, yet your vibration is preparing you for something even better than what you would usually prescribe to. So those of you that are facing these challenges of feeling stuck or grounded or not being able to move as quickly as you would anticipate, we say that there's lots happening behind the scenes, and we're actually preparing you for a lot of major life changes that will actually serve your highest good in your highest timeline. So do not panic, do not concern yourself. What we would advise you to do is to focus on the things that you enjoy doing, the things that you love to do, that brings you joy in your heart and sustains you one way, shape, or form. By holding that frequency, the frequency of love, this will help you to move and transition from one phase energetically into the new phase of energetic realignment and reestablishment a lot more easier. Whereas perhaps if you were kept busy doing things and filling your life full of nonsense, then this transition would be very painful, very difficult to unfold, and it would be very sluggish. And we hear a lot of you say, well, at the moment it feels like life is happening in that way. And we say, yes, we understand that could be your perception, but we assure you that these changes are happening faster than you realize. If you imagine we have all of these different variables to entertain, and we have all of this energy and all of this frequency to work with and alignments, almost like a switchboard in what you would perceive to be as a telephone operator switchboard, where we're connecting all of these frequencies so they match and align in order to fulfill you in your highest timeline. So that's what we're doing behind the scenes. We're also updating your DNA configuration, and we're activating various dormant DNA within you, so you will notice that you will start to have more heightened experiences within your life. You'll have multiple sensory perception will be heightened, and you'll have gifts and abilities that go far beyond your imagination, and you will try to fathom them out. And why am I working in that way? Why am I picking that up? Why am I having that sensation? We say to you that this is something that many of you have never faced before, and it's a change not only physically, energetically, but we're switching on these innate superpowers, as you may describe them, in the majority of you that are doing this inner work and healing. And some of these gifts involve you being able to astral travel in your current reality and various other realities for that matter. So you can be in different places all at the same time. You'll find that your soul has already been split into millions and millions of fragments ever since you were born, and millions of endless possibilities. After all, you are infinite awareness. So there's no beginning, there's no middle, there's no end. You continue to thrive and evolve and learn. But what you will be finding is that you will flit between one experience to another version of you, and then come back to your present moment version of you. And this will be happening, we would say, very quickly. We want to give you the month of August of this year of 2024, that most of you will be coming into alignment with these special powers and gifts that we speak of. And it will be fascinating to hear your feedback when you go through these significant changes. But that's enough for me. I'm going to pass you over to a different communicator who wishes to also share with you some wisdom and knowledge that you need to understand at this moment. So I send you our love and blessings, and we look forward to communicating with you soon in the near future. Goodbye for now.
A lot of you will be feeling very emotional in your hearts. You'll be finding that some of the deepest depths of your hearts, those empty caverns, those spaces, the darkness, the old emotions, will be more prominent to you now than any other time in your lifetime. And this is because you're coming into that heart-based frequency where all of these trapped emotions, all of these energies that have led you up until this point in your life have now reached the end of the line, so to speak. They've passed their sell-by date. And it's a time now where you're shedding those old emotions, those old ties that have kept you stuck within your life, that have kept you small and thinking small, not enabling you to connect to your highest timeline, which is pure love, pure abundance in every aspect of the word abundance. So we're stripping you of all of those old beliefs and energies. For For some of you, this may be very uncomfortable to go through, as you'll be finding that increased level of sensitivity where you feel like you need to cry or feel sad or actually just sit in the quiet and be alone. You'll find it very frustrating. But we do assure you that this is happening for a very good reason, so that you're a pure channel, a pure vessel for communication, wisdom and teachings to come through. Also vibrational alignments to come through, because you will be transmitting these new frequencies onto your planet, Mother Earth. And the reason why you'll be doing that is so that you can switch other people's true essence and vibration on. So you're fast-tracking others by you going through this process first. So like with many things, there has to be some sort of leader, someone to lead the way. We say those of you that are listening to this are those leaders. So if you are experiencing these things we're describing to you today, this is the very reason you are going through it. You're strong enough, you're brave enough, you even elected yourself to come forward in your lifetime to come and do this vibrational healing work, to put not only yourself, but Mother Earth and all of its occupants, including the animal kingdom, on its highest trajectory. Because as many of you may know, you have been hijacked upon the timelines of Mother Earth, where it has lowered your vibration, stopping you from ascending and moving at a quicker pace, not only intellectually, but emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. All of these, shall we call them caps or masks, have been placed on you to stop you being your truth, being your highest ascension codes. So there'll be times in current times where you will be feeling dizzy, you'll be feeling disorientated, overwhelmed in some cases, where the energy is so high that you will find yourself needing to get away from everything and everyone in order to retain your balance, retain the peace within your heart. And we say that it is your vibration that is stirring up all of these energies within the environments that you place yourself, particularly those environments where there's large gatherings of people. You will find that you will be triggered the most. And the reason for that is these ascension codes and frequencies that are permeating through you as a vibrational frequency will be triggering all of those individuals, including the animal realm, around you. And what you're feeling and experiencing in those environments is all of that old stuck energy coming out of those individuals and animals into the ether, and that too will be making you feel uncomfortable. So when that occurs, we advise you to move out of the vibration once you've done your role, your job, and get yourself grounded, get yourself in a place of peace and love. That way you too will not be affected by this discharge of old belief systems and vibrations. There's going to be new systems that are coming into your reality. More governing systems that actually support freedom and free will and living your highest timeline. Although it's hard for you to imagine in your current trajectory on your timeline, we assure you that these changes are coming in quickly and fast. So pay attention and trust where you happen to be in your life. As you have signed up for this, you are a vessel of light on this planet you call Earth. And some of you may be feeling like life's not working for you, and it seems to be happening for everybody else around you. we say to those of you that are experiencing this, that you are set for higher purpose, higher timeline. It doesn't make you any better or any worse than those individuals. It just means that you are on a different vibrational timeline, and your experiences will be very different to those around you. But know this and know this well. You will always get exactly what you need in order to help you on your timeline, such as food, housing, shelter, finances, abundance, love, and appreciation. You will get all of those things in abundance, but it will come when it's divinely in alignment with your purpose. So there'll be a lot of you going through a phase at the moment where you're not witnessing all of these things coming into you. We say that it's because you have great work to do, and this great work takes great responsibility. And any distractions that those around you place before you are simply removed out of your way so that you can carry out your purpose. And again, to remind you, you will always receive what you need. So be an open vessel for abundance, and it will come in when it is in alignment with you. We thank you for listening, and we send you our love and our healing and our blessings, and we look forward to communicating with you all very soon to check on you, to see how your progress has evolved. God bless you all. Thank you.
Wow, what a fantastic communication there from Spirit. Yet again, their wisdom always astounds me. I mean, it was fantastic to hear about feeling the effects of these changes that are coming into most of our lives that are listening to this, and witnessing truths coming to the surface. Maybe some of those truths we don't particularly want to hear or feel, but we're going to experience them anyway, as that is the way through it rather than around it. And also treading water, getting that feeling in our life where we feel like we're treading water and nothing's going fast. And it was nice to hear their reassurance that actually things are going better than what we imagine, and we have to again go in this waiting position, so to speak, so that the universe can bring in our greatest good and our highest timeline there. So to hear that we all need to trust and show that level of trust, and also hold that frequency within our hearts of truth, of love. And by doing that, it will allow us to seamlessly move into our new highest timeline without any struggle. So it's a case of just being patient, going through the changes, holding that space in your heart for this new vibration to take hold, and then we can start to flourish on our new timeline as we do that as well. By releasing some of the old emotions and systems that we've been holding on to mentally and emotionally will also help us transcend and move into this new timeline a little bit quicker. Anyway, now we're moving into this week's energy forecast reading, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for Monday, the 24th of June, 2024. Now, those of you that have seen me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers, and also link into the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. So here is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. First of all, feeling into this card, I feel as though this week is going to have a substantial amount of changes in all facets of your life, where you're going to have to trust with this one, and that the universe has your greatest good in mind. So whether it feels a little bit intimidating or overwhelming when you're going through these dramatic changes in your life, I do feel as though that there's something better that's about to be birthed. So hang on in there, keep the faith. And also what I am feeling, those of you that are watching this, you're going to be in your head a lot this week, trying to fathom things out, work things out. My guides are telling me to tell you not to overthink. Instead, relax into the wisdom of your intuition. So the solar plexus, feeling that gut instinct kicking in. And you'll have a feeling what's right for you and what is meant for you, rather than you forcing a situation to occur. Also, what I'm being told is look out for opportunities this week. There's lots everywhere. It's the fact that you've had your blinkers and blinders on for such a long time that you've got used to being in that vibrational frequency. So this week we'll see you actually taking a leap of faith and moving forward with the things that you're intuitively drawn and guided to. I do sense that there's going to be a lot of energy clearance around you this week, particularly all of that stress that you're carrying around your shoulders and your back, may be connected to a past issue that you've been harboring and carrying for such a long time. This week we'll see that finally being removed, and this is going to be removed because you're going to be trusting, you're going to be feeling into those intuitions. I do feel very creative with you this week, so if you feel a little bit hyperactive and feel the need to either create something using your physical hands, whether this is on electronic devices, a computer, or whether it's drawing or maybe crafting or something where you're using your hands, expressing yourself. I feel that that is the key word, expression. This week you'll feel that energy wanting to be birthed through you. So when that inspiration strikes, just go with it. Don't have a perceived outcome, just go with it. It will be very therapeutic for you. In terms of love, what I'm feeling is I'm just feeling a rekindling of an old flame. That's what my guides are telling me. And I do feel as though it doesn't matter whether you're single, married, in a relationship, whatever your situation is, there's going to be like a rekindling, a new start of some kind. And I do feel as though it's going to take patience, and it's going to take you actually listening to the other parties involved rather than trying to enforce what you're going through into the situation, as I do feel that this is the key to that relationship unfolding and that bond blossoming even further. So take yourself out the equation, trust, and again, it's all about trust, following the wisdom of your spirit guides and the universe this week. Please also watch out for you feeling a little bit low, simply because things aren't moving as quickly as you want them to. However, you are being encouraged to ride the storms. And with that, they're talking about you actually going with the flow a little bit more this week and stop, like we said earlier, getting in your head and allowing yourself to flourish and go with these energies. You will go through it and you'll feel better that you've done this rather than trying to force things to happen. That way, everything will fall into place for you. So let's have a look onto the card for you. At the top of the card, it says 4 of Ariel. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 4, as I feel that is very prominent for you this week. And I feel the information, additional information you can add to this reading this week as well. Also, it says Ariel. To me, that represents just be aware of your vibration and your thought and your emotions, as what you're dominantly thinking and feeling will be transmitted out into the universe, and potentially you could be manifesting whatever your dominant thoughts or emotions are. So be that thought police and be that emotional police where you're just being a little bit mindful a bit more this week. Underneath this, at the bottom of the card, it reads, when you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. I feel as though this is talking about the changes that are coming in. We mentioned earlier about you actually sitting with the changes rather than resisting them or forcing things to happen. There's a lot changing around you this week where I do feel as though you feel slightly intimidated because you've always had a plan, you've always had an agenda, where this week we'll see you actually relaxing out of that sense of control. And it can be a little bit intimidating, a little bit frightening as you're going through this, but actually it is for your greater good is what I'm being told. So looking into the artwork of the card, we have the colour of pink around the edge. To me, this indicates a level of sensitivity increasing within you. So again, you'll be picking up empathically on the people that are around you, the locations that you visit, and also people that you connect with, either online or via social media. You'll be picking up their vibration as your energy is, like we say, getting a lot heightened, more sensitive this week. Also, pink is telling you to be gentle with yourself. You know, again, stop forcing things to happen. Allow things to naturally occur and trust that intuition. the feminine side of you. Whether you're male or female, we all contain masculine and feminine energies. So this week we'll see that sensitivity on an increase, on a rise. So listen to it, maybe take some notes, write these things down, and then you can assess why you're feeling them and why you're getting that intuitive hit this week. Looking into the artwork of the card, what we have is we have this gateway there in the background. We have a masculine energy at the front there. The masculine energy, he's looking life in the eyes, you can probably see there. He's looking prepared, ready to make a stance there. And so I feel as though it's telling you to prepare for something better coming into your life, things that you've never even conceived or imagined. With you just having that open mind and an open heart, these things will come in. So resist that urge to force your way forward and make things happen. Instead, I feel as though you need to relax into it. Like we say, there's a new gateway opening up in this card. So I do feel as though opportunity is going to find you rather than you chasing it. I do feel that this inspiration is also coming in from the angelic realm, and they're supporting you and watching over you. So don't feel as though you're on your own. Even if physically you feel like you're on your own, I do sense that within this week, you're going to be given some inspirational guidance to help you move forward. And there's a change and an increase in income is what I'm being told. And this is in connection also with your career or your job that you're holding down there. There's going to be some good news coming on that level there. So please watch out for that. Also, I feel that within this card, it's also saying that nature, you would benefit by going into nature, and that will actually calm your nerves, calm your mind, clear your mind, and it will allow you to embrace these new changes coming in. I'm also being made aware that, watch out for feeling a little bit fidgety, a little bit anxious, more so this week. And this will be energy, we've already said it earlier, about this creative energy coming to the surface, where you feel the urge to either draw, create something either on an electronic device, or maybe do a little bit of crafting, something that you're expressing this energy through the physical body and out of yourself. I do feel that is very prominent this week. And I also get from this card that there's a need to prepare yourself ready for liftoff, because there's some wonderful opportunities coming your way, better than you've ever imagined. And you just need to be open and prepared to say yes to life rather than, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe, can I let you know? That's what I feel. So that's what I picked up for this forecast reading for this week. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people rise their vibration and ascend on their spiritual pathway. If you would like any of my services or products, you can go over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can book in with me on my Facebook page, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're all set for some very interesting times this week, doesn't it? And we're all being faced with that big word is trust. Trust, relax, and just understand that what is coming into our life is for our greatest good. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's show and the information that's all from Spirit, and you can at least align with some of the information, and it can help you on your timeline there. What I would like to do is extend the invitation to anybody that has any questions of a paranormal, spiritual or self-help nature, and they're happy for me to answer those questions on the show. Or even if you have any stories of paranormal or self-help or spiritual evolution nature you wish to share, and you would be happy for me to read out on the show on your behalf. If you do, please contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can contact me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be fantastic to get your feedback and interactions as well. So whatever it is you're doing this week, I hope that you relax into life a little bit more, Stop trying to figure everything out, and trust is, again, the key word. And know that your higher self, your angelic beings, have your back. So don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. Join me same place, same time next Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium